Alright guys, so now we are going to start today's topical workout of P1 Chemistry AS level Chemistry 9702 states of matter. So yes, we shall be starting without any delay. So for question number 1, two glass vessels M and N are connected by a closed valve. Okay. M contains helium at 20 degrees C at a pressure of 1 lakh Pascal. N has been evacuated, so this is whole empty tube. This is whole system is evacuated, which is on the left hand side of the tube. So give me just a second. Yeah, now it's okay. Okay. So this whole system is empty and has three times the volume of M. Okay. So in an experiment, the valves is opened and a temperature of the whole apparatus is raised to 100 degrees C. What is the final pressure in the system? So you all should try solving this, and your answer would be B, but it is not correct. Most of you guys, you try solve this and you will get the answer B, but this is not correct. Why is that? Because now how I will show you what you have done and what should be done. So we know PV is equal to nRT. So you ignore N here because number of moles of helium is going to remain same. So you can just write PV is equal to RT. For the first case, he has told us when in M the temperature was 20 degrees C, which is 293 Kelvin, and the pressure was 1 into 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. And we were to find out, we should be finding volume, and then we were to find out the final pressure when this valve was opened. So yeah, V is equal to RT divided by P. So let me just put this thing into my calculator. 8.31 times 293, and I'm gonna divide this by 1 into 10 raised to power 3 or 5. I'll be taking it in pascals. So just a second. 10 to power 3. So I'm gonna take this in meter cube. So this equals volume equals 0.0234. Now N has been evacuated and has 3 times the volume of M. So you simply multiply this by 3 and you put this back into this expression. You will get your answer as B. But it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because you guys must not have noticed one thing. He has asked us, in the experiment the valve is opened and the temperature of the whole apparatus is raised to 100 degrees C. This means it is like one volume here and three volumes here, they both are combined. So this 0.0234 should be multiplied by 4 now, and this is, I'm going to write it as 0.097, the final volume. You have been given the, no, you are to find the pressure. You know the temperature, which is 393 Kelvin here. Obviously temperature is 393 Kelvin, and you have general gas constant 8.31. Now you're going to put this whole thing in your PV is equal to nRT expression. Again, you are going to ignore N because number of moles will remain same. So you will get your answer A, and A is your right answer, folks. Be careful, be careful, I repeat. Okay, so MCQ number 2, use of the Dashavoort is relevant to this question. The gas laws can be summarized in the ideal gas equation below. PV is equal to nRT. We all know this. The volume of the sample of a methane is measured at a temperature of 60 and a pressure of 103 kilopascal. That's almost the atmospheric pressure. The volume measured is 5.37 times 10 raised to power minus 3. What is the mass of sample of methane? So I'm gonna write the expression here. Let me just change the color, I guess. This would be right. PV is equal to nRT. PV divided by RT is equal to N. And what is N? N is the number of moles, is equal to mass over molar mass. So you take this on the left hand side. So PV divided by RT multiply MR is equal to mass. So let me just do this calculation for the volume. Now should be cautious of the volume, because remember one principle, that pm and kid. Like Pascal is for meter cube and kilopascal is for decimeter cube. So this should, you should always remember this, then you should perform your calculation, otherwise you have to do some conversions. So we have 103 kilopascal. I'm going to write this at 103 times 10 raised to power 3 pascal here. 103 times 10 raised to power 3 and multiplied by volume, which is 5.37. 5.37 times 10 raised to power minus 3 divided by 8.31. And what is temperature? It is 60. This means 273 plus 60, because you always take in kelvins. This is 333. So 8.31, 103 times 10 raised to power 3 multiply 5.37 times 10 raised to power minus 3. So this is 553.31, 553.11, and it is divided by 8.31 into 333. 553.11 divided by 2767. So this equals 0.199, which is almost equal to 0.2. 0.2, and it is C as your right answer, but it is not, because you still have to multiply this by this mr, which is 16 in this case, and this equals 3.2. So D is your right answer, folks. Again, we move on to next MCQ. MCQ third is very easy. It is PV is equal to nRT. He has given you 1 gram of ice, and you divide by this by mr to get n, obviously. RT, R is 8.31. Temperature, what is temperature? Is 323 degrees centigrade. So again, you have to convert this into Kelvin, and you divide this by the pressure, so you will get C as your right answer. I haven't done any calculation in these. This is very easy. Most of the MCQs I have done already, and I have marked some as easy, so you will have to do this yourself. And once you do these MCQ, your P2 is also like, you have also done P2, because P1 is the foundation for P2. P2 is very easy, especially for AS. P2 is actually easy, and you only do P1, you can say that your P2 is also covered. So for fourth MCQ, solid carbon dioxide is similar to solid iodine in its structure and properties. Carbon is in group 14, silica, SiO2 is a group 14 compound. So which statement about solid CO2 and solid SiO2 is correct? Solid carbon dioxide is similar in structure to solid iodine. We all know that solid iodine is simple molecular lattice. Simple molecular or molecular, whatever you say it, lattice. And silica, what is silicon oxide, is just like diamond, and it is again a lattice structure. So A is your right answer. What we will have to check B. Both solids have a simple molecular structure. Carbon dioxide has, but SiO2 doesn't. So it is incorrect. Both solids have atoms joined by single covalent bonds. No, in SiO2 there is ionic bonding, and both solids change spontaneously to gas as STP. At standard temperature and pressure, both solids, no, SiO2 doesn't change to gas at STP. Okay, we move on to fifth MCQ. You will see these kind of MCQ repeatedly. Argon is a gas used to fill electric light bulbs. Under which conditions of pressure and temperature will argon behave most like an ideal gas? Now, for an ideal gas, you take the lowest possible volume, because at this volume the collisions, I'm not writing it, the collisions of the molecules would be least, and there would be least forces of attraction. So you take the lowest volume and the highest temperature. Why highest temperature? Because at highest temperature the particles are at a further distance apart. The particles are at a greater distance because of more vibrations, because of higher kinetic energy, and this lowers their intermolecular forces. So you have to lower the intermolecular forces, and you have to keep the particles away from each other. So you will only do these two changes in pressure and temperature, which is stated in Charlie C, to make this happen. And this is how the argon, which is obviously a noble gas, will behave as an ideal gas. So question number 6 is again very tricky. So for 6, 0.10 gram of volatile liquid X formed 0.025 decimeter cube of vapor at 100 degrees C and atmospheric pressure, which is 101 kilopascal. Okay, so 1 mole of vapor requires occupies 22.4 decimeter cube at 0 degrees C and atmospheric pressure. What is relative molecular mass of X? So we know PV is equal to nRT, and then PV is equal to mass over mr, because n is number of moles into RT, and we have to find mr. So mr is equal to mass into RT divided by PV. So you put these values here, you will notice that none of these four choices have the same denominators and the numerators. So how will you do this? You will simply going to cross check all these one by one. You put the value 0.1 to 2273, and your answer, once your answer is equal to what you have calculated in this particular expression, I call it E1, then you will say that either E or either D is correct option. So in this case you have to do cross checking, so I'm not stating any of the right options. Question number 7. All gases listed are at the same pressure. Which gas will most closely approach ideal behavior? Now remember one principle. None of the gases in which there is a considerable electronegativity difference, for instance we have ammonia, we have water, none of these can approach ideal behavior because there always exists some kind of intermolecular forces between their molecules. But all the noble gases, we all know that noble gases are uh, have complete number of electrons, so they do not form bonds, they do not have any electronegative difference in their own mixture. So these noble gases, they are most likely to approach ideal behavior, and you have to take the highest temperature, because at highest temperature there would be the least id forces, which is in our case 500 Kelvin. So D is the right answer. Now again 8 is a repetition of question number 2. So you watch question number 2, he has only switched the options in from their places. So C is again the right answer. I'm not doing this again. Question number 9, it's very easy again. Flask X contains 5 decimeter cube of helium at 12 kilopascal pressure, and flask Y contains 10 decimeter cube of neon at 6 kilopascal pressure. If the flasks are connected at constant temperature, what is the final pressure? So it is kilopascal, kilopascal, decimeter cube, and kilopascal. So our formula of KID is satisfied. Kilopascal goes for decimeter cube. Now, we apply the formula for the, what was the formula for the partial pressure? So total pressure times total volume is equal to individual pressure and individual volume plus individual pressure and individual volume of the other gas. So this is mm, 12 into 5 plus 10 into 6, this is 120, and the total volume would be 5 decimeter cube, and again this is 10 decimeter cube, so this is going to be divided by 15. This equal 8, so 8 kilopascal. A is your right answer. So I'm just raising this whole thing. Okay, now 10th MCQ, it's very easy, so I'm not doing this. You simply, but be careful of again one thing, you have to convert centimeter cube into decimeter cube, because it is 0.24 decimeter cube for kilopascal. So KID is satisfied. You have the temperature, you know the general gas constant, you are going to calculate the moles of gas. This is hell of an easy question. Question number 11. P, Q, and R represent these three different structures of an element. What is R? You must have seen this in your O levels IDGSC. This is Buckminster fluorine. Buckminster fluorine. It is 6C60. 60 carbon atoms arranged in a pentagon or a hexagon with no free electrons. It is insoluble, and it has a relatively high melting point, boiling point. So he has asked us, and it is not a giant molecular structure. Which structures are giant molecular? P is graphite, Q is diamond. whereas Buckminster fluorine, it is not a giant molecular structure. So B and P, they are the right options. P and Q are the right options. So question number 12, when an evacuated tube of volume 400 centimeter cube, I'm going to straight convert this into decimeter cube first, which is 0.4 decimeter cube divided by 1000, is filled with a gas at 300 Kelvin and 101 kilopascal. So the mass of the tube increases by 0.65 grams. So okay, so what could be the identity of the gas? It behaves as an ideal. An evacuated tube of volume 400 centimeter cube is filled with a gas at 300 Kelvin and 101 kilopascal. The mass of the tube increases by 0.65 grams. Is filled with a gas at 300 Kelvin. Mass of the tube increases by 0.65 gram. So now we have to find the identity of what gas is produced. No, not just a second. Let me just check this again. The mass of the tube increases by 0.65 grams. Okay, so now I understand. He has told that this is a certain gas which under these conditions its mass increases by 0.65 grams. Oh no, not again. I'm wrong. This was an evacuated tube. Okay, and now we have put a simply a gas which measures 0.65 gram. I'm sorry guys. So now what could be the identity of the gas? So PV is equal to nRT S. Following the rule, we have to find the number of moles first. PV divided by RT is equal to N. Plug the values, which is this equals 0.016. So what should be noticed here? Pressure, it is in kilopascal. You add 0.4. This is 40.4 in the, no, let me just write it, 40.4 and 8.31 in the denominator times 300, the standard Kelvin temperature. So 0.016 is the number of moles and the mass was 0.655 grams. So mr is equal to mass by n. Rearranging the mole formula, 0.65 divided by 0.016, this equals 40.1, which is certainly an isotope of, I guess it's argon. 40, yes, it's argon. So A is your right answer. Question number 13, it is again a repetition of, I guess this is similar to question number 5. So you just go back and watch question number 5. I'm not repeating this again. So X, Y, and Z. So this is an A star MCQ. I'm stating this first of all. Be careful while solving this. X, Y, and Z are all gases that behave ideally and react according to the equation shown. When 3 mole of X and 3 mole of Y are placed inside a container with a volume of 1 decimeter cube, they react to form the maximum amount of Z, but the final temperature of the reaction vessel is 120 degrees C. Try solving this by yourself. So you must have solved this and you would get the answer as B, because 3 mole of X would react with 3 mole of Y, so 3 would react with 3, so 1.5 will react with 3, and this will produce 6 moles of Z. And then you plug this 3 moles of Z, and then you plug 3 and do calculations in decimeter cube. We have got the pressure in, so it's atmospheric pressure, so you'll take the atmospheric pressure and you will get your answer as B. But it is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because now I'm repeating, listen carefully, just a second. When 3 mole of X, 3 mole of X and 3 mole of Y are placed inside a container with a volume of 1 decimeter cube, they react to form maximum amount of Z. According to this, 3 mole of X should react with 6 mole. Obviously it should react with 6, but there are only 3, means that Y is the limiting reagent, and no, sorry. Yes, Y is the limiting reagent here. So 1.5 mole will now react with 3, and this will produce 3 moles which you have used earlier in your calculations. But you have missed one thing. You also have to use this 1.5 number of moles as well, because we have to find the volume of, sorry, pressure of the whole reaction vessel, not certainly of only the gas produced. So this would be 4.5 in the end, because there is 1.5 mole of X left which was in excess, into R 8.31 into temperature. What was the temperature? So let me just put this thing into my calculator. This is 393 Kelvin, and divided by what is the volume. Volume is 1. So you do these calculations, multiply 8.31 into 4.5. So your answer would be something like 1.47. Yes. So C is your right answer, guys. Be careful once again. You have taken the answer in kilopascal, so multiply this by 10 raised to power 3, because this was in decimeter cube. You will get C as your right answer. 15th, an easy one. Which pair of substances are both molecular? Okay, so we have done this question already, haven't we? So graphite is not molecular, graphene is not molecular, iodine is molecular, but again graphite is not. We are only left Buckminster fluorine and iodine, similar to the MCQ number, I guess 7th or 8th it was. So B is your right answer. Question number 16 is very easy. So you can already see what is done on the screen. Check this out and you will solve this. Not doing this because it's an easy question, so they are reliant on you. You are relying on them to solve. They are obviously not reliant on you. A sample of argon gas has a mass of 0.20 grams at a pressure of 1 lakh pascal and a temperature of 12 degrees C. Which volume does the gas occupy? Has a mass of 0.20 gram, pressure of 1 lakh pascal, temperature of 12. So you, this is simply again PV is equal to nRT. So you will take 1 lakh pascal here, and now, what is the trick here? You must see the trick involved here. He has asked us to calculate our final answer in centimeter cube. In centimeter cube. So, what if we convert this into 100 kilopascal? And we will obviously get our answer in decimeter cube. And you multiply this by 1000. So, I guess we should divide this by. Now, let me do this question. Just a second. PV is equal to nRT. 100 kilopascal, we will take 100 kilopascal. 100 into volume, which is to be find 0.20 of argon, so 0.20 divided by 40, which is mr. 0.05. 0.005 multiply 8.31 into temperature of 285 Kelvin. Okay, 8.31 into 285, and this is divided by 100. So 0 point, you will get the volume as 0.118 decimeter cube. So for converting decimeter cube into centimeter cube, you multiply this thing by 1000. So this would be 118 point something, which is rounded off to D is your right answer, folks. Oh, yeah. Okay, so question number 18. The complete combustion of 2 moles of an alkane produces 400 decimeter cube of carbon dioxide measured at 301 Kelvin and standard atmospheric pressure. Carbon dioxide can behave as an ideal gas under these conditions. What is the formula of alkane? You notice 301 Kelvin is room temperature. This is the standard atmospheric temperature. So why will we do PV is equal to nRT solution here? Simply go for 400 decimeter cube. You know, 1 mole of a gas occupies 24 decimeter cube. 400 decimeter cube will occupy 400 decimeter cube means 16.66 moles. So you have 16.66 moles of carbon dioxide produced from 2 moles of a certain alkane. So there are 16 number of carbon atoms, 16 number of carbon atoms, and you have, what if you have C2C8 H and H and something here. Ignore the H for the time being. So this 16 would give us 16 CO2. This is a tricky question, but it is actually very easy. So A is your right answer. Which substance shows the greatest deviation from the properties of an ideal gas under room conditions? CQ number 19. So CO2, H2, and neon, so they both will show the least deviation. Which of the following has highest MR? Carbon is 12, and carbon is 12 plus 32. This is 44, and NH3 is 14 plus 3, it is 17. But you also have to take into account the electronegativity differences which is given to you in the what's called that called booklet. This is the data booklet. So you count for the electronegativity difference, you will see that there is a greater electronegativity difference between nitrogen and hydrogen than there is between carbon dioxide and oxygen. You might say that carbon dioxide will deviate most because it has a greater MR. It will have more ID forces. But what if I say same goes for NH3, but NH3 has higher electronegativity difference, which leads to more stronger intermolecular forces, which means that D is our right answer. That's easy peasy, Japanese. Japan jana bhai. Okay, each of the substances shown is gaseous. This is again a very easy question. I'm not doing this. So, which substance is most likely to show ideal behavior? Nitrogen gas and oxygen gas. They both want because there is some kind of involvement of what is that called? Lower temperature and higher pressure. C is your right answer. There is involvement of intermolecular forces in here. Question number 20. If you are a math student, then you will solve this in seconds. If you are not, be careful a bit. Graphs, do study graphs in physics, especially for kinematics. The graphs are very important, and you remember some rules of graphs. Same are applied to chemistry here. For an inverse variation, remember this, for an inverse variation, even if there is not a square in here, even if there is not a square, the curve is in this way. The curve is in this way. D is your right answer. Simple. Question number 22. This is very tricky question. Black powder is a mixture of potassium nitrate, carbon sulfur. The mixture reacts as shown. We have the equation. A sealed tube containing black powder has a volume of 10 cm cube. When all of the black powder reacts, the reaction causes a pressure of 2 into 10 to the power 6 Pascal and temperature of 2500 Kelvin. Volume of K2CO3, and this can be ignored because they are obviously solids. How many moles of KNO3 are contained in the sealed tube? So this contains both the state of matter and the stoichiometry here. So has a volume of, now what's the trick involved? First we have got the pressure, we have got the temperature. PV is equal to nRT. We have to find n here. So we also have to get volume first. How will we get volume? Try this. You won't get the volume so easily unless you notice this. This is a sealed black tube, means that the maximum volume of the gas produced must be 10 centimeter cube, which is like 10 divided by 1000. I always prefer decimeter cube. 0.01 decimeter cube, and 2 into 10 to the power 6 divided by 10 to the power 3, and this is 2000 Pascal. Now you calculate the number of moles here. So PV is equal to nRT, which is 2000 times 0.01. This is 20 divided by R into T. What is temperature? 2500 Kelvin into 8.31. 20 divided by answer. This is 0.00093 0.62 moles of gases which are produced. These all were solid, so there is not any limiting or any other reactant involved here. So okay, now when 4 moles of KNO3 were used, they produced 3, 2, and 6. They produced 8 moles of gases. Now, this particular mole of gases is produced. Let me write this 0.00962 x. This particular mole of gases is being produced. So, how many KNO3 contained in the tube? Do cross multiplication. This equals 0.000481. 0.000481. A is your right answer, folks. This is an A star MCQ. Once you notice this has a volume of 10 centimeter cube, you will ace this MCQ. And otherwise, you won't. Which gas will behave least like an ideal gas at 150 degrees C and standard atmospheric temperature? Fluorine and krypton, first of all, ignore this. They can behave as an ideal gas because they do not have any electronegativity difference. We have ammonia and steam. Go to your data booklet and calculate the electronegativity difference. Which has a greater electronegativity difference will behave least like an ideal gas, which is in our case steam. D is your right answer. Question number 24. I guess we have done 24 already. Yes, we have done. This is MCQ number 17. No, not 17. Something like 16, I guess. We have done this kind of MCQ. We have done this already. If you have watched the whole video, go for search operation now. Go for this whole MCQ. So 26, 27. Let me do this 27. 26 is ignored because this is easy. So I won't be doing this. Okay, in this question, you should assume that a gas formed is an ideal gas. A 1.7 gram of magnesium produces 50 centimeter cube of 2.2 mole per decimeter cube uh, HCl at 3 over 3 Kelvin and 1104 Pascal, blah blah blah. Okay, produce 50 centimeter cube, which is 0.05 decimeter cube, and this is 110.4 kilopascal. Just for my own sake, I prefer kilopascal. Okay. What is the volume of gas produced? PV is equal to nRT. Magnesium reacts with no. What am I doing actually? This is again stoichiometry, and both the moles involved. 1.7 gram of magnesium means 1.7 divided by 32. 0.053 moles of magnesium is reacting weight. You calculate number of moles here. 0.05 into 2.2 is producing is reacting with 0.01 mole of HCl. So what is Mg plus 2 HCl gives rise to MgCl2? Ignore this thing, and H2 gas. MgCl2 means that if 0.053 is reacted with 0.11, the mole ratio is the same, then 0.053 moles of magnesium would be produced. So 0.053 moles, 0.053 moles into 8.31 into what is temperature 303 divided by 110.4, and then you will get the volume. So 0.053 multiply 8.31 into 303 divided by 110.4, 1.208 decimeter cube, which is 208 decimeter cube, which is A in our course of subject chemistry. Okay. दिल का दरिया बह ही गया. Question number 27. Which assumptions are made about ideal gases? Ideal gases contain molecules with no mass. If this was correct, then gases won't be there because what is matter? पढ़ा हुआ है आपने बचपन में. Matter is anything that has mass and occupies space. Ideal gases contain molecules with no volume. Yes, this is a bit of correct because आपके जो notes हैं, your notes say that they occupy no volume, which was the assumption made by the scientist back in the 1850s. And ideal gases have no intermolecular forces. Yes, this is true. D is your right answer. Okay, so question number 28. This is again PV is equal to nRT. nRT, a 200 centimeter cube sample of water has an amount of oxygen dissolved in it. Thus, this amount of oxygen has a volume of 6 centimeter cube measured at 1 to 10 raised to power 5 Pascal and 35 degrees C. So this is 0.0, just a second, 6 divided by 1000. My maths is weak. Still, I've taken maths. 0.006 decimeter cube. Amount of gas has a volume of 6 centimeter cube when measured at 1 into 10 raised to power 5 Pascal and 35 degrees centigrade. Okay. So you apply PV is equal to nRT here. PV is equal to nRT 0.006. What is number of moles? What haven't we given? So we have to find a number of moles. What the shit I'm doing? PV divided by RT. PV divided by RT is equal to N. You will take pressure in kilopascals here. I am repeating pressure in kilopascal. Alert, alert. Volume in decimeter cube. Temperature in Kelvin, which is 308 Kelvin in this case. And R is 8.31. You will get 0.002 point something number of moles of oxygen gas, and this is divided by 0.2 decimeter cube. You will get your answer B. You will get your answer B, and it is your right answer. Again, question number 29 is very easy, so I have leaved it for you. And question number 30, let's just do it. It is for the mids actually. It's an easy question. No, it's for the mids, so it must be tricky. At temperature of 2500 Kelvin and a pressure of 1 in this blah blah blah, a sample of 3.21 gram of sulfur vapor has a volume of 2.08 into 10 to the power 6. What is the molecular formula of sulfur under these conditions? As a sample of 0.321 and MR, you have to find MR here. So for the MR calculations, PV is equal to nRT. PV divided by RT is equal to mass over MR is equal to, let's just cross multiply mass into RT divided by PV, and you will get the MR here. Here you can find the molecular formula. So what is mass? It is 0.321 multiply 8.31, the general gas constant, multiply temperature of 2500. This equals 668 point something, and has a volume in meter cube and pm, so it is satisfied my pm wala jo tha pm, the pm theory. You have to use pressure for meter cube, and it is not a theory, it's a fact actually. So 1 into 10 raised to power minus 4 multiply 2.08 10 raised to power 6. So 6668 divided by 208 is 32.08. So the MR of this sulfur vapor is 32.08, and we know MR of sulfur in independent state and elemental form is 32. So A is your right answer, and this brings an end to this beautiful little P1 of this chapter. Where should I draw a heart? So this is it. My dear students, take care. Goodbye and good night. Allah Hafiz. पसंद आया हो सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा। खुदा निगहबान।